Listener discretion is advised.
It's time for another Steel Revolution podcast. Please keep in mind that the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals, and they do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers. Now, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi River, this is Steel Revolution.
Very high standard.
What are you doing with us?
Higher than the princess?
Yeah.
And apparently I'm the princess, Mike Nicholas.
I miss him already.
Yeah. Are you recording?
Yeah.
We're doing, okay.
Yeah,
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
And apparently I'm the princess, Mike
Yeah.
Nicholas.
Hey, Mike. So see, like everything is coming together good today, and I have a feeling that everything gets thrown off when Mike's here.
Well, that's usually the case. So.
Right on.
Back, princess.
All right, like we said, welcome to Steel Revolution 108.
108.
And we are without a princess, Mike Nicholas.
Well, we've established we have a princess and a grieve here. I'm Roy Hutt.
Even though Roy.
Yeah, we don't have any of them
Well,
here.
you're here, but not.
I'm here. Neither of the other two.
I'm sorry.
Brad was here earlier this week.
How's he doing?
Good.
Good.
Fishing, golfing, being a retiree.
Yeah, he had to run the SOAR meeting.
No.
Had to step up.
Yeah, he did.
I'm Roy Hutt.
Shawn Geisens.
Lee Schaefer.
Segueing from that to the spouse dependent verification letters that went out in the mail. So if you were one of the lucky ones to be audited, like I was, you should have received that already in the mail. And then it is just an affidavit you need to fill out and get back to Arconic stating you're still married. That looks like that's the only thing I've seen so far come through.
Yeah, I got one, and we actually had a retiree come by earlier that they got one in the mail as well.
So what'd you do? Fax that off for him, or
He was going to sign up to try to get online to hopefully download
To
it.
do it that way?
Yeah, hopefully it worked out for him. I don't know. He had to call and get it set up. So
I know, I believe Dan's faxed one for somebody. I have too. So if any members, retirees, any of you guys need help getting that faxed off, please come down here. Call before you come. Make sure somebody's going to be here. But don't hesitate to come down here. Have one of us fax it for you. You know, it's very important. It's a lot easier to get that done now than it is to lose your coverage and then try to get that restarted. So, you know, please, if you need help, reach out to us. Lee, jump in whenever you want to take something. We had 14 new hires that started on June 27th of this week, or not this week, last month.
Yep.
On June 27th. We have a new group starting next week on Monday.
They were here during the summer days. Because now we're into fall, pretty much, you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's around the corner. School will be starting.
man, I better tell Chloe to
And
get to bed earlier.
We'll be in the fall. Better start getting used to it.
Right.
Yeah, start now, Lee.
Yeah, the new hires though, we do part of the local issues. We do get a couple hours with them. So next week we'll be spending time with them and giving them some good information. It's a very good thing that we got the 2 hours. It makes things a lot easier for us, and we're able to answer more questions for them or from them, and really give them more information, in-depth information.
Right, and a reminder, we do represent them. The only thing we cannot represent them on is if the company decides they're not a good fit and lets them go. We can't represent them there, but we represent them in benefits issues, overtime issues, anything else. We represent them. So just make sure you realize that. Watch out for those new hires. Keep them safe. Train them. You know, train them like your retirement depends on it, because it very well could.
Yep.
other issues related to contract. We have filed a couple grievances that are related to the contract. One, we filed a grievance on when the orthodontic max increase takes effect, and then another one on the vacation rate. So more to come from those two issues.
Brace yourself.
Thanks, Shawn. That's a good one.
Thank you.
So yeah, we will keep you up to date on that.
Yeah.
Had to regain.
Right.
Had to get back on track after that one.
Yeah. He caught you off guard with that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Guard.
Oh, see, I didn't even know. Okay. We're getting off the rails here.
See, you've been around him so much. Now you do it without even thinking.
One of those guys.
Yeah. So we've also filed a grievance on the mini payroll issues we've been seeing. If you do have a payroll issue, please call the hall. Make sure we're aware of it. We can help you out. We got a new corporate email address that we can send emails to with payroll issues. So I have seen at least one issue that I've been working on for a month get resolved here after using that. So making headway with working on members' issues that way.
Yeah, make sure you are checking your paychecks every week. I can't stress that enough. It's a lot easier to get or at least attempt to get it fixed or get it tracked at an earlier time rather than if it goes on a couple months or whatever. But please just make sure you're checking your paychecks and make sure everything's correct.
And we did have, I believe we had something in the Forerunner. We had something on Facebook. Again, we will try to always have something in the Forerunner that we put on Facebook, realizing not everybody has Facebook, and even it seems like people are migrating to other platforms and away from Facebook anyway.
Yeah.
But the dues issue, so the lump sum dues deduction was taken out this week, and hopefully that's correct.
Cross your fingers.
Cross your fingers, yeah. But that was taken out this week, so hopefully that part is behind us with that payroll issue. We will see. Also in the Forerunner, we did run the dues calculation, so 1.45% with a max of 2.8 taken out of your check per month. That is your current dues deduction. Lee, you do that a lot at new hires.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it now?
Oh, okay. For how your dues are distributed, 40 for every dollar of dues that's taken out, 44% goes to international, 44% goes to the local, 7% to the strike and defense fund, 3% to the organizing, and then 1% to education and 1% to political and legislative action. Organizing also gets an extra 2 cents an hour above this. So we always like to tell people too, the 1% to political and legislative action, that is for issues that are affecting workers. That does not go towards political candidates.
Right, that's for us to go lobby
Yep.
for worker issues or our issues, like at the state capitol or
Yep.
in D.C. It does not go to political candidates. I had somebody down here that I was helping and was saying, well, why do we have the sign up we got up for Brinson Kinzer that's running for a county supervisor? And I said, well, he's submitted a form to the Quad City Federation of Labor.
Yep.
Went through their process of an interview. He's a labor-friendly candidate, and we've talked to Brinson down here.
Yep.
For county stuff, he wants to buy John Deere equipment because that's made here, and stuff like that. So that's why we choose to put up their signs here. It's for people that's been endorsed as being a labor-friendly candidate.
Yep.
No matter who or they are, Democrat or Republican. This person pointed out, well, it seems like it's more Democrat. Yeah, that's true, but they did
And we have endorsed Republicans.
endorse a Republican for sheriff I believe. I don't know but I know when we were at the Fed meeting, one of the individuals on the WIN committee made a point to say, "Hey, we did endorse a Republican this go around." So
Yep. So if you see, hey, the steelworker USW endorses whatever presidential candidate, that money comes out of our PAC fund. So that's a separate volunteer. You can contribute to that. It's no different than United Way or whatever else you choose to donate to. So
yeah, but it's not your dues.
correct.
To go along with the organizing piece, I'd segue because I forgot to put it in here, but important USW news. They did organize a Starbucks, at least in Canada, and I think they've got a couple in Pittsburgh they were going after, I believe, right, Lee?
Yeah.
And then also what's the other football league?
USFL.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those guys are
Steelworkers.
steel workers, yeah.
Yep.
So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, something in case you guys didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Back to more something around the contract local issues. We do have the new self-trade crew swap agreement. It is in place. That agreement covers the following departments: IPS, rolling, plate, lab, sheet, ingot, and the general mechanics.
Yep.
So that is ready to go now.
Good deal.
Yeah. Reminder: office secretaries, office manager. Normal hours down here at the hall, 6:30 to 2:30, Monday through Friday. So again, he is your resource for your retirement questions, and really any help. If there's something he can't do, he'll certainly pull on us for help. Scholarships, list of scholarships was in the Forerunner, I believe 3 weeks ago. I don't have that one with me.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not.
But they were there. If you need those, we'll try to get those on Facebook and that as well, as long as with some other information here next week. Reminder: the Union Golf Tournament is August 11th. Supposed to show up at 8. Shotguns start at 8:30. $200 entry fee, and those must be received down here at the hall by August 3rd.
Are you golfing, Shawn?
I am not a golfer, no.
You're not?
No.
I thought you were.
No. Do I look like I golf?
What's that mean?
Exactly.
You look like you could putt around.
Jeez. That's a hole in one there, buddy.
I mean, does John Daly look like he could golf?
That's touche. But no, I am not a golfer.
Okay.
No. Thank you for asking, though.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm not going to be in this, unfortunately, but I wouldn't say I'm a good golfer by any stretch. But
Whenever somebody asks me, hey, do you golf? And I'm like, I wouldn't call what I do golf.
right, yeah, right.
No. I'm
Yeah.
not really interested in that either.
Okay.
I was offered to go this week golfing with some people from work.
Why'd you go?
I took my kid on a little adventure, so no.
So you've never golfed?
No, never have. Nope.
That's weird.
You look like a putt guy at
Yeah.
least, Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I do putt around a little bit, like you said.
That's what I thought.
Next time I go, you can be my caddy if you want.
Okay. I can drive and drink. Well, I mean, not like that, but you know what I'm saying.
Hey, you give him a radio too.
Oh, yeah.
He could spin some tunes.
Yeah. He'd be like Rodney Dangerfield out
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I like the way this is going.
Turn it up.
So what? So let's dance.
Nice hat.
Oh, it looks great on you, though.
You get a free bowl of soup with that hat? It's a great movie. I've seen that one.
Classic. Just classic.
All right.
A reminder: if you have issues with the restrooms out at the plant, get a hold of us and we'll turn them in. It seems like some of the stuff we've really went down on the complaints. So,
Yeah, I think the restrooms are getting better. But don't get me wrong, I think there's still some work to do. But
I think they've gotten better. I know Mike's still working on boot issues, but safety glasses, haven't heard about that for a while.
Right.
So I think we've got in touch with, at least with the right people and pushed the issue enough. We've made some gains in there. Another issue that people were seeing United Way deductions, and they didn't think that they had one. With the payroll issues we have, I'm not going to talk and say people are wrong or didn't realize they had a deduction going out, because who knows what happened lately
Right.
with all of them. So the way it has worked, once you opt in, you're in. You need to opt back out. So, but if you feel that shouldn't be coming out, you can just reach out to one of us, and we'll contact payroll, and they'll stop that for you. No, seems a little funny to be talking about, because we don't talk about it that much, but COVID symptoms, if you do still have COVID symptoms, it's a good idea to call medical, get your name on a list, so we can see about getting at least your days excused off, that you got to be off for that.
Yeah, and then I guess I'll add to that, if you did get the vaccine, when you come back, it's probably a good idea to bring that proof, so that there's a possibility of getting, if you pass all the other qualifications, the vaccine may get you some paid days, so make sure you bring that in with you as well.
So if either one of you guys visited the Arconic Benefit Hub for employee discount, do you have, Shawn?
It's been a while, but yeah.
The new one.
No, when did it come out?
You didn't do the new one? Let's see.
I did.
Let's see. Does it say here? April. April came out.
Okay.
So we've had a few people call the hall, and one person just called Dan. So this is another thing we will be running in on Facebook next week. But there is a new place to look for benefits, voluntary benefits, or really it's the employee discounts, and it's called the Benefits Hub. Forgot that in my email here there was the voluntary programs that started, but that was back in November with open enrollment. But we used to have through MetLife, or what is Hyatt Legal, for getting your wills done for free, so on and so forth. That changed in April when they went to this Benefits Hub, and they changed some stuff. So now it's called Legal Shield. So you can go to arconic.benefithub.com, put in a referral code 9U7PQ3, and then you can get in there and see what kind of discounts we have. If you have an issue, or if you got questions, you can contact the Benefit Hub at 1-866-664-4621, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. And here, guys, I'll got my laptop in here so I can show you guys what it looks like, since
This is a podcast and nobody else can see it.
no, you can see the reaction you guys have.
Oh, wow.
See, I mean, it's not just the little, the. Yeah. See. Anyway,
play along.
anyway, there's your
keep it
AT&T.
professional.
You can Focus, Arconic exclusives, auto insurance, home insurance, identity theft, whatever. You can shop by. Look at all these different things. So it's
That's nice.
it's a huge increase in what you can and can't get on here,
Okay.
compared to what the old one was, and it's a lot nicer.
Can you use this just strictly at work or at home?
It looks like with this you could use it at home.
Okay.
That'll help a lot of people.
ArconicBenefitHub.com. Now we should probably try that.
Okay.
Can you try it on your phone right now?
Busy doing this.
I can push that button for you.
Well, you don't push any of my buttons.
That's the one thing that I taught myself by watching you, since you won't train anybody.
Boy, did
You
you ask?
refuse to train.
Okay, what's the website again?
Arconic.benefithub.com. There's the referral code on there for you too. Here, I'll underline it for you.
No, it's not coming up. I'll try it out when we're done.
All right. Well, we'll revisit that when we
Yeah.
come back after the interview.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of stuff on there.
Yeah, actually, that's
what
Quite a
what there
bit
used
more.
to be. Now, also, I will tell you, if you're looking for a discount, you might want to check out Union Plus. So, going on a little trip with the family in August, flying into Mesa, checked the Allegiant for a rental car, then went to Union Plus and hooked up through one of their deals for Mesa. So that Allegiant flies into, I saved $100 less than what
Man.
Allegiant
There
was.
you go.
That's a lot of bones right there.
So, yeah. So if you're looking, you can look here.
Yeah.
But I looked here, couldn't quite get the deal I wanted. Went to the Union Plus one, and it was good.
It does come up.
You got it?
Yeah, it says my Arconic discounts. Read more, and then you gotta. Looks
Yeah,
like you gotta
create an
register an
account.
email
Yep.
and password, but
Yep.
yeah, it looks like you can from at least from my device.
All right. Good job, Shawn.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks.
Well, that's nice because I do get questions about, hey, where can we find these discounts and stuff, and then people had to wait till they get to work and all that stuff. So
So,
That's
are
good.
there more discounts now with the
Yeah.
new program? Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
nice. Excellent.
Yep.
good deal.
All right. Again, we got a lot of calls about the legal service since that had changed. So, like I said, Dan, I know is going to put something in the Forerunner. We'll get something out on Facebook too. More to local area, but ties with us. Lee, do you want to talk about the Casey wages?
Yeah, so last year, Casey Wages, who's a rolling GM, got seriously hurt, and he's been in rehabilitation for quite a while now. So on July 15th at Modern Woodman Park, the River Bandits are going to recognize his rehabilitation success. So just kind of a little snippet of it. Genesis and River Bandits, they've been celebrating success stories through physical therapy and rehabilitation patients through home runs for life since 2016. So this year they're honoring Casey. So he's going to be receiving a plaque, and he's going to be on the pitcher's mound at the end of the first inning. It'd be really nice if we could really just pack the stadium and show him support. I think that would be just awesome for him as well, to see a lot of support from his, brothers and sisters out there at work. I hear, I think his wife sent an email saying she really misses a lot of people, so it'd be really nice for everyone to get out there. So we have the link in the Forerunner to purchase tickets, or you can go down to the box office at the River Bandits and purchase them. Also, there will be fireworks after the game, so kids might like that. So, like to see a good turnout.
I think Shawn likes fireworks.
I do.
Are you a firework guy?
I'm all right with that. Yeah.
Are you?
Who doesn't like to watch them? But do you let them off?
No, I'm not allowed to do that.
But who? Your wife or?
Yeah, I'll tell this story later on. I can't say it on here.
Oh,
Yeah,
something to look forward to.
Yeah.
it's pretty funny.
I see you have all your fingers, and so there's no accidents.
No.
Okay. I worry about you.
Somebody should.
Anyway, please show up. Maybe wear your USW
Yeah.
T-shirt and that to that River Bandits game on July 15th and celebrate. Casey's worked really hard and come a long way since that injury. So
That game is at 6:30. If I didn't mention it, so the 15th, 6:30, and then at the end of the first inning. So you might want to get there early to see that. So.
yep. Thanks, Lee. We'll take a break. Come back with our interview with Pete Hurd, Secretary Treasurer of the Iowa Federation of Labor, is going to talk to us about some bills that got signed into law in Iowa July 1st, and some ones that affect workers, especially the changes to the unemployment insurance in Iowa.
Just the hits keep coming,
They do,
unfortunately.
too. And not the kind of hits Shawn plays.
Oh my gosh. Well played, friend.
Thanks.
Back after the interview.
All right, joining us on the podcast today is Pete Hurd. He is the Secretary Treasurer of the Iowa Federation of Labor. Pete, thanks for taking time to talk with us today.
You bet. I like what you guys do. I always listen to what's going on in 105 over there.
Thank you. Mainly wanted to get you on, talk about changes in any Iowa laws, since you spend a lot of time there at the Capitol. What changes have been made to unemployment benefits on July 1st, and how is that going to impact workers?
Yeah, the changes that happened on July 1st were passed. Basically, it wasn't completely. There were some Republicans that voted against the bill, but all of the people that voted for the bill were Republicans in Iowa, and it was a huge, drastic change to unemployment in Iowa, and it really puts us in the bottom 10 states for benefits overall. The biggest one is the reduction of possible available weeks. You could claim up to 26 weeks of unemployment before, but now it was cut by 10 weeks, so that cuts it down to 16. Then it also defines what misconduct is for employees. A lot of people don't really know, but there's judges that were kind of doing hearings for unemployment problems throughout the years, and they've kind of come up with a pretty good pattern to what is misconduct in the workplace and what qualifies for disqualification of unemployment. Well, they kind of wrote a bunch of new language in there that defines misconduct, but it's so incredibly vague that it's going to open up a ton of conversations and arguments for employers about what defines misconduct. And there's some simple things like, well, if you don't steal anything, if you steal something, you don't get unemployment. Well, sure, that might sound fine on paper, like, oh yeah, I work at John Deere and I stole a skid loader, you don't get unemployment. We understand there's things like that happen. But like, what if I had a pen or a notebook, and some supervisor really wants to get at you about something and wants to punish you, for something you did, and it just really creates a lot of loopholes that we feel that people could be exploited on, and we know that employers have more money and legal teams than workers do usually, so we feel that could negatively affect people. And then it also changes the work search, some of the work search requirements and rules for those who are laid off. So it is it was a big change.
Now, some of that work search, some of the articles I was reading, they had statements in there that this change or some change in this unemployment law would cause workers to have to take jobs at a lower wage or jobs that anyway they'd be forced to take a job that really wasn't suitable for them.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, if you read the bill, the whole thing is about trying to jam people back into the workforce. Like we're pieces of a puzzle that can just fit anywhere. But I guess that's a good way of thinking about it. Think about it like a piece of a puzzle, and you're one of them, and there's a bunch of open spots. It's not like they can take me when I'm laid off and just shove me anywhere in the state at any job and fill it in. But that's kind of what they're looking for. And one of the things was that you have to take a job at 90% of your wage. If you're offered a job that's at least 90% of your wage after week 2, which after this bill basically is like after the first week, you get 1 week of unemployment, you're supposed to take that job. So you don't even have the right to search for a comparable job, really. And they also, last year, they increased a lot of the work search requirements and things like that. It's just, look, we all understand that, we got to go to work, but so does the worker, right? Everybody's got bills to pay. It's not like anybody's sitting on unemployment getting rich. But trying to force people into these positions is really tough. And there was a specifically UAW worker who works on the line who came to speak at one of the hearings, and his stuff really matched up a lot with what happened here, because he was off for the entire 6 months, but he went back and got some training, and did some work searches and finally found one, and now he's working at Deer and Cedar and the Quad Cities. But he had to move. He lived in Cedar Rapids, and he had to go down there and get a job. And there's just like his story was a perfect example of like how the transition can take time, and how you want to find a job that can replace your other one. Because the last thing we need to do as workers is go backwards. It's so hard to go forward, even at the job you're at. So going backwards is really puts families in a disadvantage.
Okay. So, Peter, are there any other law changes our listeners need to know about?
Yeah, there's a few that was really on our list. And the number one big change is going to be the Iowa's moving to a flat tax over a period of time. Over the next several years, they're going to be lowering the amount of state income tax you'll pay, which on the face level seems good for everybody. But the fact of the matter is that regular working people aren't going to see these big benefits. A few years ago, there was 8 tax brackets that people fell under, depending on your income, from making $0 to over $400,000, and then that got switched to 4 tax brackets a couple years ago. So the most wealthy were paying a lower income tax, and now we're looking in the future. There's going to be one flat tax at 3.9%. If you can see the way my hands are waving, the bracket goes down, right? Like most people are already towards the bottom of this tax bracket, and this really benefits the wealthiest people. So that's something that we're worried about, because it could potentially cut up. Estimates are saying it could cut $2 billion out of Iowa's budget. Well, like this year, Iowa's budget was just over $8 billion. So, that could be a 25% cut to budgets. And I don't know if we've all noticed, but Iowa's the worst in the country in bridges. They're kind of down there on roads. One of the things that I was going to mention is school funding. Iowa's school funding has been going down for decades. There's actually a graph that shows that from 2002 to 2011, Iowa averaged a 3.1% increase in funding. The last 10 years has been 1.9. So that's really like a 1/3 cut to education over the last 10 years. And we've seen a lot of, what has been inflation there. I mean, if you ask any worker out there, if 2% is enough to keep up in times, it's not. And especially this year, when school districts were saying that their costs could increase 7 to 8%, and they only got 2.5%. It's just always playing catch up and getting further behind. And then the last one was that I really found kind of insulting was there was a child care center labor law change. It basically lowered the age of unsupervised child care center workers. There was a minimum age of 18, and they moved that down to 16. And then at the same time, they increased the amount of 2 and 3-year-olds that could be under the supervision of a worker. So potentially a 16-year-old worker could work unsupervised and watch up to 10 3-year-olds.
Wow.
And just to think about that, as someone myself who has a 3-year-old and a newborn right now, to have 10 3-year-olds in a room would just, I don't know. I don't think any of us want to do that. But then to lower the age of the worker, that's the thing. And we're always trying to monitor labor law changes, child labor changes all the time. And this one was just a real pickle, and it was really just to create more opportunities. But there were, in the subcommittee meetings, there were people from daycare centers who were saying this is not a good idea. We don't need to, lower the standard for childcare in the state, and that's kind of what a lot of people think it's going to do.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like they've done that in a lot of teaching aspects lately. With they have some apprenticeship program that was going in for teaching that didn't really have a whole lot of standards in it too.
Yeah, and I don't have the specifics on that, but yeah, that was one of the things where getting more students to teach because they can't find teachers. Like, this is look, I mean, you guys say too, if your employer came up and go like, well, geez, we can't find enough people to work here, maybe we need to find children, you know, like,
Right.
and, you know, some types of jobs are more dangerous than others. But when we're talking about teachers, we know what the problem is. They're not getting paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's teacher pay has gone down over the years at an unbelievable rate. There's actually, if you take today's standards with inflation, teachers actually make $2,000 a year less than they did 10 years ago. That's crazy, because actually they literally make almost less money. But when you take in inflation, like, they're actually losing money compared to what it was. So it's an unfortunate position we're in, you know. But that's why we really got to talk when we get people elected. When we talk to people who can make these decisions, we got to tell them that this stuff's important to us.
Yep.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot and give you something. I didn't prepare you for a question
No,
that I was going to ask. But when does, off the top of my head, I cannot remember, when was the changes in Chapter 20 that gutted really the teacher's ability to bargain?
Yeah, in 2017, they really stripped nearly all of the union rights for public workers in Iowa. Basically, the only thing that public employers have to bargain over is wages, and if it goes to like an arbitration, the max they can get is 3% or CPI, whichever is lower. So even when it comes to wages, they're really limited on what they can do. There are some permissive languages, what they call. There's permissive and language that they can't, like, that's illegal to use. So like they can do some permissive languages, but you know, that's up to the local governments, and some of them they're just trying to save money, so they just trying to cut out whatever they can, and that's a lot of things that people have bargained over since the law came into effect since the 70s, you know. So yeah, it's just been a real downhill slide since 2017. But just remember, like, the administration that's in there now, like, took union rights away from workers, and I think that's something that if we don't live in that environment, it's not as easy for us to see. But that's a tragedy, and we need to fix that in the future.
Yeah, I was trying to see if we could correlate that with the 10-year time frame you put on that. So not quite 10 years ago, but certainly hasn't helped us retain teachers here in Iowa.
No, and there has been story after story of teachers flooding to Illinois and Minnesota. Like, that is something, and to be honest, and people don't get into the field either. What we haven't really probably seen yet, because it's only been 5 years now, but, like, you know, when people talk to their kids about, like, what do they want to do for a living, you know, and, like, a lot of people follow their parents into the trade. Like, it would be hard to say that, like, here, this is a place you should stay and work because it's great, you know, when you're struggling that bad. And there's a ton of legislation this year that was aimed at teachers. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of bills that just put a restriction on them. And when I was a construction worker, and when a foreman was, like, kind of just, like, looking over your shoulder all the time, you know, you'd be like, quit bird dogging me, you know. Well, now these people are getting people, like, bird dogging them every single thing they do. They had a bill that they wanted to put teacher cameras into classrooms and monitor the teacher, you know, and it's like that type of stuff. I mean, I understand maybe where some people are coming from, but there's some kind of, like, evil thoughts going through there, because really, like, you're just nitpicking people when they're all there. You know, how many teachers do you know that are out there trying to work as hard as they can to teach your children, and to put more restrictions on them and to scare them in certain situations? Like, that's not a workplace that's a, you know, friendly, I think, that I'd want to work at.
Right.
Well, the Iowa Federation of Labor Convention's coming up at the end of August. What's on tap at this year's convention?
Yeah, our convention is the 24th through the 26th, and we have we have 3 Hall of Fame inductees. Rich Running, who worked for many different unions. Bill Gerhardt, who worked for the Laborers Union, still does has worked for many years, and then Marty Hathaway, who unfortunately passed away this year, was an AFSCME worker, correctional officer, and he spent many years dedicated to the union movement. So we're happy to honor them. And then our theme this year is that you guys might know a little about, but it's taking it to the streets and winning. We really want to emphasize and highlight the strikes that have gone on and some of the labor campaigns that didn't come to a strike, like you guys, right? I mean, a lot of work went into getting collective bargaining agreements done, and that's the stuff we want to highlight. And we're kind of excited to share the message and share what good things happen and what some of the struggles were, so we can learn for the next one, because I don't think the labor movement is ending this year, that's for sure.
Absolutely. We need it to continue.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, that's all the questions we had prepared for you, Pete. Anything else we need to bring up?
No, I just want to give a shout out to you guys for doing a podcast like this. We need to find more ways to reach our brothers and sisters out there and kind of get them engaged with what's going on. And we can't always do that, the old-fashioned way. And I like podcasts, so I like to listen to you guys. And it's a good way to, stay in contact, right? Keep the message going about what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, Pete, we appreciate all you're doing there at the Iowa Fed and all your work at the Capitol. I imagine it can't be easy.
No.
But appreciate everything you're doing there, and along with Charlie. But again, thanks for taking time to talk, or thanks for taking time to talk to us, and we look forward to seeing you here at the end of August.
That's awesome, and you guys keep up the struggle on the plant floor too, so thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Pete. Take care.
Have a good day.
All right. Bye.
Shawn,
Yeah.
where can people find us?
Oh, it's that time of the podcast?
Yeah.
Well, they can find us on our Facebook page at Steel Revolution Podcast, USW, Local 105. The iPhone, iPad app, which is, what do they call that? Just the Apple Podcast app? Yeah, that's what they call it.
You're the expert here.
Well, I'm just reading what's in front of me, okay? Jeez. The Podcast Addict for Android devices, the Android app, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio app, Spotify app, YouTube, we're on there, just type us in. The Odyssey app, Libsyn.com, the Locals website, and the men's restroom here at Local 105 on Devil's Glen Road.
Yep.
Hey, next time, can you let me know if there's going to be a pop quiz, or feel like I should have studied?
Well, yeah. You should know this by now.
I don't know all this last section.
Well,
That's
you know what?
not-
When we're
that's not
done,
my
we're
wheelhouse.
gonna school you. All right.
It's not my wheelhouse.
Well.
Except for the men's restroom.
All right. On that note,
Yeah. Find his way in there. All right.
Any new salary listeners this week? Or
Oh, they always go up and talk to Shawn.
some do. Yes. They
Really?
enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah, they do. I'm not gonna say names, but they enjoy the show, and I thank them.
That's better for them.
I should
Yeah.
bring them a pint glass. We still got those?
Yeah.
God, you think they would have sold out by now?
Yeah. Either that, or I think that reminds me. I think I owe somebody a red shirt too
No.
from salary.
oh,
I'll throw them in a.
Yeah, it's popular.
Yeah, throw them a pint glass as well.
No, they'll use that. It's like you wear that red shirt to work.
Drink their cold beverages because they're so cold in their office or something. No?
Yeah.
All right.
there's a lot of people on the street that want that red shirt too.
Well, they might have an opportunity at one of these parades,
Right, right.
especially Halloween.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
All right, thanks for listening. Don't forget to say something good about your union.
Every day.
Till next time. Bye.
See ya.
Steel Revolution is a podcast by USW Local 105, Bettendorf, Iowa.